Hot.
What's going on, everybody? Cleus the Hillbilly here. I am here at my grandparents' place. Beautiful country. July 5th, 2020, and I just wanted to do a little rundown of what about yesterday. Here's the tractor I had in the parade. I don't know if you guys was able to see it, but if you watch the video, you might be able to get to see it. Anyways, without further ado, I have an actual guest here with me, a friend of mine, a good friend. He's actually in charge of Antique Iron Mafia and a little tidbit of Antiqueiron.media. Go check him out on Facebook or online. And here he is. He's actually helping with the camera. Rick Shaw. Come here, Rick. Come on down or up.
Hi. How you doing?
Rick Shaw here.
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me on your video with you, Clint. This is very much an honor.
It is?
Yes, thank you.
Well, I don't know how you feel about shaking hands. Why not? No, we're not scared. Anyways, he was also part of the tractor drive. He actually did some videos and maybe some pictures that I think he will post on the
Yes, I'll be posting on my blog is my intended plan. I will be posting on Antiqueiron.media. That's the web address, Antiqueiron.media. And if you're on Facebook, you will have a link through the Antique Iron Mafia that I'm the administrator. It's not my group, it's everybody's group. Right. Clinton is a moderator. Clinton is also one of our older members in the group, and Clinton has been a part of that for quite some time.
It is an interesting group, and I was honored to be asked to be part of that group about what, 5 years ago?
It's 5 years. We've been a group for 6.
Yeah, and it is interesting. If you like old tractors, and if you have story about growing up on the farm or driving an old tractor, you could go on there, you could look things over, put pictures. But anyways,
you absolutely do not have to have a tractor to be a part of the group, and actually the group is more about celebration of agriculture, but mostly antique agriculture. It's not all about tractors. We can be absolutely silly. We can have a lot of fun, but yes, absolutely.
Exactly. So, anyways, Rick.
Yes, sir.
How do you think yesterday, you was part of the tractor drive yesterday, July 4th.
Yes.
How do you think it went?
I was very, very pleasantly surprised, because when Doug Edwards and Josh Atkins brought this idea to me to promote for him, Josh asked me, he says, how many tractors do you think we can have? Do you think we'll have 100? And I had to laugh. I said, Josh, I can't guarantee anything. With the way things are going in the world today, I would like to think easy 25, and I would be tickled if it was 50. And the final count, I took the final count on our first stop, and we were just about 70 tractors.
70?
70.
I want to admit, when we made our first stop, actually our second stop, and I got to looking, it just like they would never stop. So I'd have to agree. I do believe it was 70. I heard 67, but actually that's a lot better close.
Well, I'm approximating. I counted 67. I don't know if I counted more than one twice. It's like counting cattle or hogs or something like that. It's like, did I count that one?
Sometimes they like to get counted twice.
Yes, they do.
Yes anyways. But he has come here today to help out with running this camera, because I want to do a little bit of a tidbit for my YouTube channel, and then figured put this here on the Antique Iron Mafia page, and I figured why not? If he's going to help me, bring him in the camera.
Thank you, Clint.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anyways, he has a shirt on here. It's Edwards Tractor Restoration. I will put the link in the description down below if you have a tractor you want restored, or if you have a question about one, you can be able to call this number, 217-473-1856. And the guy's name is Doug Edwards. Real nice guy, real intelligent. Well, yeah, we'll go with intelligent. He actually knows what he's doing.
Yes, he does, very much so.
But anyways, but what kind of tractor do you have?
I have 3.
But
now let me answer your question. Let me ask you a question before I answer your question.
Okay.
Tell me what you term as a tractor.
Well, I mean, as long as you can ride it and it can do a little bit of tillage work, if it's a little pedal tractor to 1,000 horsepower tractor.
Now you just complicated your question, Clinton.
But what do I term as a tractor? Well, to be honest with you, hey, I asked the question here.
Okay, well you've complicated your question with your answer to my question. I have 3 Farmalls. I have a 1947 Farmall H, which was on the drive yesterday. I wasn't on it. A friend of mine was on it. And it was kind of a neat little side story. I also have a 1952 Super C and a 1955 Farmall 300. I'm definitely a red guy, obviously.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But I'm not exclusive red guy, because when I asked him what you term as a tractor, I also collect lawn and garden tractors. In fact, I started out as a lawn and garden collector. I have the first case models that were produced after they bought from Colt out of Racine, Wisconsin. I have 3 of them, and I also have a couple of Alice Chalmers Simplicities. The other thing with me is I don't just let my collecting seems to know no bounds, because I also have a antique truck. I have a 1960 Dodge that I intended to be as a toy hauler, because my half-ton truck, I thought I needed something so I could haul more. Well, come to find out that antique trucks are collectible items. And also my latest addition to my collection is a 1982 Cushman Truckster, and after I purchased that, I come to find out there's a cult following with the Truckster. So
Well,
I'm kind of all over the place on collecting.
I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that has a cult following. Well, cult as in, cult tractors,
Yes,
but that's cult
yes,
following.
very much. Let's not, yes, let's be careful how we go with that,
Yeah.
Clint.
But anyways, no. I tell you though, he does have some good lawn and garden tractors, and I'm actually, I did know what I was going to answer for what did I define as a tractor. And to be honest with you, my opinion, I don't know how you out there in TV land would feel, but if it's a garden tractor that works in the garden or just to ride around, me, it's a tractor. And case in point here, as a case in my pulling tractor, it's a tractor that I can't drive to the grocery store anymore.
Well,
But,
if you put a bigger put a different carburetor on it, you'd
well,
probably be fine, Clint.
But I like seeing how
Yeah,
much
but
gas
use
it
more
drinks.
power.
Exactly, more power. But anyways, so. But,
Tell us a little more about it. Does your
what?
following know about your tractor collection, Clint? Well, let's talk about that for a
Okay.
minute.
Well, we talked about yours.
Yeah, so it's only fair.
Well, I guess means it's already brought up. You folks want to know. So, okay. Well, as you see here, we got a 1972 656 International utility. It's last year they made this model, apparently. And this is actually my grandpa's tractor. He owns it. And I helped work on it, him, me, and the neighbor. In the shed, we have a 1978 or 1980 1086 that's been redone, that we still use to mow hay and rake hay and move bales and whatnot. And what I have at my house, I have a hybrid pulling tractor. It's a Farmall Super MTA that was built. I have my great grandpa's 111 lawn tractor that I actually have a picture of me on his lap when I was
A lot smaller than he is now.
Yeah, I wasn't this tall and this good looking. No, I have that. I got a 330 that was only produced 1 year by John Deere. It's a diesel. I don't know how many of them are left, but it's been redone. I got a 318 that's been redone. I have a Cub Cadet 1320 it's an MTD, but I can actually trace it back to when it was bought new, and I'm the actual third owner of it, and it never really did leave this area.
That's cool.
It started as a friend of the family's, and my grandpa got it, and then I acquired it. And then I have a Alice Chalmers B112 that was given to me by another friend of the family's, who she told me if I can sell it, but I don't want to.
It's a collectible tractor.
It is a collectible, and they are hard to find because they are a shaft drive. And That's actually about the only ones I have noteworthy, other than a few toy tractors that are, well, they've seen a lot of field use. And
Sandbox.
yep. Oh, we actually have an 850 John Deere compact that my grandpa bought new when he did farm. We still got that. That has kind of been in the works of being redone. So we don't segregate tractors. So when it comes to green or red, well, they fit in the shed, we'll put them back in there.
The interviewer is going to get interviewed. How do you feel about yesterday?
How do I feel about yesterday?
How do you feel about yesterday?
It was hot, but beside the hot point, I will tell you how I felt about yesterday. Yesterday was beautiful. I mean, it was the perfect day. It was a day like today, and it was like perfect. The best day to have a drive would have been, well, yesterday. I mean, it went great. In my opinion, I think yesterday's tractor drive went perfect. We went to the places. I mean, everybody got there. We had the crowd that we thought we wouldn't have.
Yes.
And it panned out. And I mean, I hope we can get it again next year.
He brings up an interesting point, because Franklin, as long as I've been involved with tractors in the past 6 years, Franklin festivities, the 4th of July is a big event for the town of Franklin. They do not only the tractor events that we are involved in, but they do Burgoo, which I'm not going to get into what Burgoo is. It's a Central Illinois thing, kind of like a horseshoe, which I'm not going to get into that either. But the thing about Franklin is most of the time they have a parade every year on the 4th of July.
Yes.
And generally, they always have a good turnout of antique tractors. So there are a lot of antique enthusiasts in this area. Last year we had kind of a change up because they decided to bring back the antique tractor pull, which, even though the weather was horrible, it was very much a success. There are people that were upset with it, but it was a very much success.
I have to say something on that.
Yes, go ahead.
That I hadn't, when I was on the farm working for a farmer, I used to go to about 3 tractor pulls a year with mine, and just pretty much stay here in the States, and maybe an hour away at the farthest. And then me and him one year went to
Missouri.
Missouri, about 4.5 years ago, about this time.
Yep.
And did that, and then I just parked her. And then,
last year was the first year it pulled since.
No, well, yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was, actually. That is true. It pulled last year. Yeah, it was the first time they did that in many years. And the area where we did it at hadn't really had nothing done, so it was kind of soft and mellow. But for throwing something together at such short notice, I want to have to say, he was part of the crew that helped build it. I want to say, hey,
I was a
job,
part of the crew that helped. Oh, well, as far as last year on the track, yeah.
Yes, I mean, it turned out perfect. And then hopefully if we do it again next year, which there is talk.
We don't know.
But I will have to finish this up before, we go back to you.
Go ahead.
Is that, if we do another tractor drive this time of year next year. Drive, that's what I said. Well, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Thank you. I'm not going to reveal anything. I'm not going to talk out of school. I'm not going to allow Cletus to talk out of school. We don't know what we're going to do. No. But we're going to do something. But if we do it, and you have a tractor, or you can get your hands on a borrowing one, as long as it can keep pace, I don't know, what do you say, what's the minimum speed?
12.
As long as it can keep 12 or more.
Yeah, 12 mile an hour.
Come on. If you go to the page,
you don't have to be local.
No, you don't. I think one person was out of state that showed up, I do believe. I might be wrong, but I know they were pretty close to the state line.
I know the oldest was 84 and the youngest was 8. I'm not going to name any names, just for their privacy.
8 years old. 9 years. I'll be 9 next week, boy.
Physical age of 8.
Oh.
I think people can honestly tell that you and I are very comfortable being friends, so anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, No, but yeah, I mean, like he said, you don't have to be local.
No.
If it's something you want to try, let's just say you got an old tractor and you and your dad or your grandpa fix it up, and you live in Iowa, and you want to make the trip. You know, come on.
Yep.
You know, if we do it next year, it will be up on the
doing
media
something.
or the Mafia's page.
Yes.
And it's a good time. You know, you get to meet new people. You have it's fun. And when you get done, you don't have to stay. And I mean, a lot of people really didn't, because they, after that, they loaded up and went home. It was a little warm.
Yes.
But I mean, if you do stay, you meet new people, you learn, you have fun, and then it gets into your blood.
Yes, it does. Very much.
And
it's your show.
I know it's my show. I didn't know if you had any more to add.
As far as Franklin it's just a wonderful place where there's a lot of people involved in tractors, and this is definitely we're in a good area for that kind of thing.
It's a farming community.
So very much a farming community, and it's nice to know that my friend Doug Edwards and my friend Josh Adkins are doing everything they can to keep the enthusiasm and the joy of owning antique tractors, so people keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. And he does get a good point, because to be honest with you, with this day and age, a lot of youth some of them are kind of getting into this. Even with the little garden tractors, they're getting into it, but the majority of them are not. And doing something like this, a lot of people see that, and it used to be a big thing years ago, and then it kind of slowly filtered away, and now it's kind of coming back up. And like he said, we're trying to get it back up. Doug Edwards and Josh Atkins, they are trying to get them up.
In the Franklin community.
Yeah, in the Franklin community. Here in this town, here at Loami, we have a 4th of July parade and fireworks. And yeah, people bring their cars. That's another thing. You could bring a car on the tractor drive.
We had a semi truck in the first part of the drive when we actually basically went through Franklin yesterday, before we took off on our drive and enjoyed the glorious countryside. We actually came through town, and it's like we were showing the people it's okay not to be afraid. Come out. And I was so overwhelmed in how many people were actually on the sidelines that watched us come through. Mm-hmm. We had a parade. It was just tractors this year, but we did have a parade.
Yeah. What do I think? I don't have to step too far. No. Yeah. Even Loami they have a parade. They have old cars, tractors, semis. Sometimes I haven't seen a semi in Loami for a long time. New Berlin does the same. Well, they do it for the homecoming.
They do for the homecoming.
Yes. And I am part of the volunteer fire department here, and we actually last year did do a parade at the homecoming, and there was quite a bit of people there. But it's not it's fun, but if you actually have the chance to do a tractor drive, you'd want to do it again. I mean, it's a slow pace, and nobody's trying to race anybody, really. They're not supposed to. Sometimes there are some illegal drag racing going on.
I wouldn't know anything about it.
Neither would I. But
I let him back.
Yeah. I let him win, though. But anyways. But I mean, when we stop, people get out, and they congregate a little bit, and then we get back on. They stretch their legs and whatnot, and then they get back on, and then we take off again, and then make our designated stops. It's a good time. You should, join.
Did you in part of your video that you're going to be editing into your YouTube channel, you explain what's going on during an actual drive?
I will.
Okay.
Actually, when I did the video I'm going to post before this one, this will be a two-parter here. I explained sort of what a tractor drive is, and if some people couldn't hear me over the tractor, what a tractor drive is really, in a farming community like what we have around here, is a lot of us get together and people, bring restored tractors, and sometimes I've seen
not.
Yeah, sometimes not. Sometimes people bring them like they did when they found them in the barn, and sometimes they have them, they never even painted them, and some people actually, I've seen people bring like fairly new tractors on the drives.
There's a cult following in in non-restored. It's what you like. It's what you want to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing I've never seen on a tractor drive, and I don't know as if I'd want to participate, would be a steam tractor, because they're not going 12 mile an hour.
No, and they are heavy.
Heavy.
I mean, they're good for parades.
We did a parade. You missed this, but we did a parade, and around the square of a little town not too far away from here in Berlin, Illinois, we did a tractor parade so everybody could see them. The tractors actually move, and one of the older gentlemen had a John Deere MC crawler, and he did not do the streets around that square any favors, but it sure looked cool.
Well, it is Berlin now.
Well, it's Berlin.
But yeah, see, even, you know, I've actually seen a friend of ours that's not too far, that lives not too far from here, actually have a crawler in the parade at Loami, but he trailered it because they told him if he unloaded it, they weren't gonna. They said he wouldn't run if he unloaded it. So he, as he got halfway off the trailer, he decided to put her back on, and then put her on the parade route. But anyways, you got anything more to add?
Not really. I hope you invite me back. I hope that you, in the same token, will, when I get my YouTube channel going and my blog stuff going, I hope that I can have you on film with me, because this has been great interaction. So I'm going to step out, and I'm going to let you finish and close it up.
Fair enough. I will close it up with explaining. Thank you, Rick.
Yes, thank you
for joining. Anyways, Rick Shaw, everybody. But anyways, real quick, as I was trying to explain as a tractor drive before we got sidetracked, and that's the problem, we have a good time, we get sidetracked. But anyways, oh, no, I'm kidding. Tractor drivers, you know, we get together in a community and we get tractors on days like today, and we set out, you know, hey, if we want to drive 10 miles round trip, we go 5 miles out and 5 miles back. Like yesterday, we did almost 30 miles round trip. And then sometimes we designate we're going to go to, like, say we're going to go to a place and it's like a bar and grill. We're going to have something to eat, you know, lunchtime. Maybe go there for supper and line them up in front if there's parking, and then have a mini show there and get something to eat, have something to drink, visit, explain, you know, if somebody has a question, hey, you know, I remember driving one of these back when I was, you know, 10 years old, and then about the time, set a time, hey, it's time to go, and we make our way back. It is a community effort on some aspect, and it is fun. So, but anyways, I know I don't want to bore you all after this. I want to say thank you to Rick, and check out the Facebook page, Antique Iron Mafia, and his web page is Antiqueiron.media, and I will post Edwards' tractor restoration phone number in the description. Also, if you need any welding done, Bruce's Welding in Girard, Illinois, I will put the phone number down there too. He can ship border to border. I think that's about it. Other than that, this is Cleese the Hillbilly signing off. See ya. Alright, everybody, if you like this video, like I said, I want to spend a shout out to Rick Shaw for helping me and joining me on this. And I'll put the links in the description for the restoration, the welding, and anything else that you want to know. But anyways, if you like this video, hit the like button, kind of help me out. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And like I said, I've been doing unboxing videos. This is something new. I'm going to throw this in here every once in a while. So I hope you enjoy. And until next time, bye.